Hello everyone. Today I'm going to show you how to make a DIY bracelet holder for craft fairs for bracelets or friendship bracelets. And the materials you're going to need are some standard craft glue, watered down to make it spreadable by paintbrush, 2 pieces of cardboard. I cut mine to 5 inches by 6 inches. You're going to need something smallish to roll the post around. I just have a piece of PVC. You can use a broomstick if you don't have any PVC. As long as the end of it is smooth and you can slide your tube off once it's done. And then something larger, kind of more bracelet size. I'm using a roll of parchment paper. You'll also need a paintbrush and 3 pieces of cardstock, one of them cut in half lengthwise. Alright, first of all, I'm going to take the smaller 2 pieces of parchment paper and glue them together. And we'll do this by painting some of the watered down glue on this edge. And I do the glue watered down so that way I won't have like line lumps in my project. And then line this up as straight as possible to glue these 2 pieces together. And smooth it down very well. Alright, that one's done. We just need to set this aside and let it dry. Next up, we're going to do the same with our 2 larger pieces. Put a nice wide band of glue on there. And you have to work rather quickly because the watered down glue tends to dry faster. It'll start drying on you. There we are. And again, line these up as best as possible. Smooth that down really well. Alright, so first we're going to do the little tube that's going to be our post for the base of the stand. And what you're going to want to do is start rolling the paper around this PVC pipe or broom handle until you get over the edge. And then what we're going to do, you want to hold that very tightly. And then we're going to paint on some glue. And then roll some more. Keep rolling it and keep it very tight on there. And put on some more glue. Doesn't have to be perfectly coated, but you do want kind of a smooth layer on there. And keep rolling very tightly. And keep repeating that until you get done with the whole 2 sheets that are attached together. And while you're at it, watch your paintbrush roll off onto the floor. And keep applying glue. And make sure you get it really coated well on the end. And then we're going to keep rolling this. All right. And what I'm doing now is just kind of rolling it in my hands to seal down that end really well. If it's not sealing down, you can kind of stick more glue in there, but it looks like it's doing pretty well. And this helps spread the glue as well. I'm just squeezing it and rolling it. Alright. And then we're going to slide this off of the PVC. And we now have a tube. You can see it right there. And basically we want to let this sit for at least an hour or two to make sure the glue dries properly. And while that's drying, we're going to make the next one. So again, just like the other smaller tube, I'm going to get this started and roll it until we get over the end. There we go. And then start applying glue. my table wobbles a little bit, so I'm moving the glue out of the way while I'm doing this. And then we're going to roll, keep it very tight. Apply more glue. It's actually not glue, it's watered down glue, just to make it easier to spread with a brush. Roll some more. I'm not coating this one as extensively as the other one because it doesn't need to be quite as sturdy. And keep rolling until we pass the end. Again, just like the previous one, we're gonna keep squeezing on that and rolling it around. And make sure that edge is nice and stuck down. Oh, this little part right here looks like it could use some more glue. Just a little dab. And see how the edges here are not quite even? Don't worry about that if that happens, because we can just trim them off a little bit. See, there's a little bit of unevenness there, but we'll trim those to make it all nicely on the edge. Okay, there we go. And then slide this one off. And we now have the other tube, the bigger one. Again, we're going to let this sit for at least an hour, maybe 2, to let it dry fully. I'll pause the video and come back. Welcome back. Okay, I have found the center of my cardboard rectangle by drawing a line from each corner to the opposite corner, and then drew a circle using my tube as a template. And we're going to cut that circle out. Unfortunately, my X-Acto knife bit the dust. The blade broke a day or 2 ago, and I haven't had a chance to get to the store yet to get another blade for my, or more blades for my X-Acto knife. So I'm going to use scissors to cut this cardboard circle out of here. And that's going to be a bit laborious and time consuming, so I'll come back when I'm done with that. Welcome back. Okay, we have our perfectly cut circle, and you want to make sure that the tube fits inside of there. It needs to be pretty snug. So there we are. Now, I'm going to cut off, actually, I'm not going to cut these to make them even because the ends are going to be hidden. The next hole we need to cut, find the bottom, and you're going to want to find the center and cut another circle, just like that. So this will go into that. Alright, when cutting this circle, you don't have to cut all of it out. You can just poke a hole in the center and then cut out to the drawn circle you've made. You want to make several cuts in there because we're going to be shoving that other tube up inside here. And when you're done, you should have something that looks like this. And that we're going to poke in. Oh, I need to make them a little bit bigger. Kind of hard to draw a circle on a curve. Try this. Basically, you want to keep snipping a little bit at a time until this fits in there. I'm not wanting to cut too far because I can always cut more, but I can't uncut it. There we go. Perfect. All right, set that aside for now. The next thing we want to do is cut approximately 3/4 of an inch up from the bottom, just about every quarter inch or so, maybe a little more than this. Looks like more like 3/8. Alright, so we have our cuts going around. Don't worry if you cut a little too far, it's not going to hurt too much. Alright, now, okay, this is my inside. This is going to be my top. So what you want to do, slide this through here. And spread these out. This will help strengthen the base. Alright, and then we're going to put glue around this edge. And I'm just using Aleene's tacky glue from the Dollar Tree. One of my favorite glues. It's so inexpensive. So basically we're putting glue underneath all of these little tabs, as well as on the whole cardboard. And I'm using this full strength because it needs to be very sturdy. Okay, and then you also want to put glue on this side of the tabs. Thusly. And next, we take our other piece of cardboard and place it on there. And we're basically sandwiching those tabs in between the two pieces of cardboard. And my favorite holders, give me one moment. Clothespins. We're going to make sure this is lined up nicely. And clothespin it all the way around. Actually, this one should go right at the edge. And make sure you line it up well. Need to grab more clothespins. And the cardboard I just used from a cardboard shipping box. Not a heavy duty one, just a standard. Alright, now we have clothespins all around the edges. And we're going to put it flat. And make sure that your central post is kind of standing straight up, you know, like it's square. You don't have to use a level or anything, it just needs to be visually straight. There. So basically, you eyeball it, kind of move it around. Make sure it looks straight from all the angles. There. Now, we're just going to let that dry for an hour or two, and we'll be back. Okay, I'm back. Our base is not quite dry yet, but I must confess I'm kind of making this up as I go along. I had the idea in my mind of what I was going to do, but I thought of an additional improvement. Okay, we're going to need the inside this hole at the top to be pretty sturdy. So I'm going to put a couple pieces of cardboard in there to kind of help support, you know, if you get a lot of heavy bracelets on there. We don't want that little post poking through. So I'm going to glue one piece of cardboard to another. And I just cut a random two smallish rectangles that I knew would fit in here. And I've curved them a little bit too to match the inside of the top. I'm going to just hold those for a moment. Actually, all right, now put some glue on the top side. There we are, and hopefully get this in there without smearing the glue all over the place. Okay, I'm going to tip it this way, slide it in. Nope, I'll slide it in with the scissors. It doesn't want to go over that little bump where the hole is. There we go. Alright. You can kind of see, well, I'm holding it with my finger in there. Oh, no I'm not. It slid out the other end. Okay. Let's try this again. I'm sliding it in there and holding it. What I want it to do is be flat right at the top of that hole. It's inside the tube, so I can't really show you what I'm doing, but basically you want to center it on the top side, which is now the bottom, over that hole, so that way it's right there, just to give a little extra support. And then push that down really well. There, you can see it's at the top. Gotta make sure it's centered. Push on it really well. And while the base is drying, we'll let this dry as well. Okay, we're back. And what I've done is I poured kind of a heavy amount of glue in the hole. Because we're going to want that, you can kind of see it in there. We're going to want the top of this to attach to that glue. Let's put this in here. Looks like my hole's not quite centered. And push down on it some. And what we want to do is make sure this is square with the base. And that extra glue that I put in there is going to hopefully run down. Let's see what it's doing. You can see it's kind of running down a little bit of that tube. And again, make sure that's square on there. And then we're going to let this all dry for quite some time. Overnight might be best. So once, I actually didn't wait for this to dry completely. It's still clipped. I'm going to let it all dry overnight with these clothespins on it. And then tomorrow I will paint the base to match the rest of this bracelet stand. I'm going to use just some craft paint, and we'll paint this cardboard base. And you can also paint all of it one color if you prefer, or use, before you do all of this, use a patterned, if you want to use like a patterned paper on here before you poke the hole in it, cover it with patterned paper and then put patterned paper on the bottom and the rest of it. So the possibilities are endless. I just like the plain black one, so I'm going to paint the base black. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed my video, and thanks for watching. And please like and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.